But it just dawned on me too that I think this is what the first WrestleMania you were in since, or you're going to be in since 2012, right? So the first WrestleMania since 2012,
2011.
2011. All right. So the first WrestleMania since 2011. Clearly, it's a different atmosphere this time, but still no less important, right?
Right. I mean, yeah, the atmosphere is a little bit different than
Sure.
an arena full of 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Slightly different, but it's still WrestleMania. It still has that vibe. It still feels like the most important show of the year. You know, like this is what we build to, and it still had that buzz backstage. Like this is WrestleMania. You know.
But it's also like, people are going to be turning to this now almost for something, different. Clearly, like they use WWE and sports entertainment as an escape, but now I feel like people need it even more. Do you carry that? You're going into this big event. Do you carry that? Like, I still gotta perform. I still want to be the person that everybody talks about the following day.
Definitely. And we were talking about it at the Performance Center, just the guys and girls backstage, that there might be more people watching this than usually do, because there's less to do. There's less options, everybody's social distancing, everybody's kind of keeping to themselves. And I mean, when I'm at home, that's what I'm doing. And I've watched everything on Netflix that I can think of. I've watched all the new movies. I'm looking for stuff. I'm looking for something else to do. And there's only so much you can do in your house,
But you're a filmmaker too. So are you looking for anything specific? What is it that you kind of watch? Is it action movies, action comedies?
Action comedies are my go-to, but I feel like I've watched every single action comedy movie out there. So now, what I've been like, I feel like I've been just looking for like good stories that take longer than stuff that I usually look for.
Now, have your TV viewing habits changed drastically because of marriage? Like, I know mine probably have, because my wife rules the remote in the house, and pretty much me. She wears the
That's how marriages work.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. That's just what happens.
So do you remember that last WrestleMania? Do you remember that match? Like, was that the most memorable match that you think that you had in WWE? Is there a different one?
For my most memorable Mania was WrestleMania 24, coincidentally also in Orlando.
Huh.
But that was the Money in the Bank ladder match that I had, that I did like the moonsault with the ladder off the top to the outside onto the guys, and I took a couple of nasty suplexes and power bombs and stuff off the ladders. And I remember thinking about the match days before, about like how scary some of that stuff was.
Yeah. And
in the actual moment, it wasn't scary at all, because I was there like full of adrenaline in front of I think like 100,000 people that day. And nothing hurt, nothing was scary, of course, until afterwards. Then when you cool down, you're like, oh my God,
yeah.
My back is killing me, my legs are killing me, everything hurts. But the adrenaline and the feeling that I got, and the sense of pride afterwards, were all like the reason that wrestlers wrestle, the reason we do this,
Yeah. How's your body holding up, just in general? I mean, I know, you've been doing this a long time now. It's weird to think you've been doing it a long time, because I remember when you just started, and I actually, I know you'd been at the time OVW prior to getting into WWE, but when I met you, you were kind of this new guy in the scene. And I'm sure you had some bumps and bruises, but it's been a long road at this point. How is your body doing? That was fun.
But so the body's still, my body feels pretty good still. I think I've been working out and training a lot smarter, and age appropriate, I feel like, and I've been wrestling smarter. Like, I still like taking risks, because that's part of what gives me the adrenaline. I like to be a little bit like nervous and anxious before a match, because it still makes you feel like, this is important, and what I'm about to do should scare me a little bit. It should feel dangerous. I don't want to go out there and think, oh, this is going to be a nice, easy, safe match. Yeah. I still like to have that feeling of danger. I think the things that have been saving me is becoming more aware of my skill set and walking that line to like the extent of my skill set, but not just completely trying something that I'm not capable of. And when I was younger, I did that more. Like I'd just be like, you know what? Maybe I'll land on my head.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll be fine. And when you're younger, like sometimes you do and you are fine.
Yeah.
And now I can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, but I get what you mean. Like you were somebody that even just coming up, people would watch and wait to see what you were going to do. And I'm sure after you take a few wrong turns and land a few wrong ways, you want to come up with ways to minimize that type of impact. But yeah, it's also like you want to have the maximum impact on the crowd. So listen, I'm not going to pretend like I know at all what it is or how it is that you do what you do. But I do know like the thinking has got to be, how can I pop this place? How can people walk out thinking, John had the best match?
Yeah, definitely. And that's got a lot more to do than just like the risks that you take in the ring. That's like the story you're telling, the character, and the risks should work to enhance the story that you're telling. And that's also like the longer I've been in the business, the more that I've come to enjoy and think about the story we're telling and how the moves and how the things in the ring are pieces of this larger puzzle that we're telling. And if they all work together, you're going to elicit the best response, like connect the most emotionally.
Yeah.
And I feel like the longer you're in the business, the more you appreciate that storytelling aspect.
So since you've returned, it's funny because, you and Miz, you came, I guess to me, like, since I got there around the same time as you, it seemed like you guys kind of got there at the same time. You probably knew each other prior to that, but, then you go off and you do some other things and you come back and you guys are in a totally different place in your career, both elevated now and both like these, that the younger guys are looking up to. How weird is that at this point? Or is it just like, you've gotten used to it?
No, it's a little bit weird. Like, I don't think you ever, when you're a kid dreaming about main eventing WrestleMania, you don't think about how, one day I'm going to be a respected veteran in the locker room. I always feel like you dream about the glory. You dream about pushing yourself to the limit and being in it in the moment. So
I got to ask you this. I've asked a lot of people, 2 songs on the quarantine playlist for the people that are stuck at home.
There's a song called The Heavy by Short Chain's Hero that I've been listening to a lot. It's got a long intro, but It's got kind of like this like space cowboy, like rustic type feel that gets me going. And 2, there's a song coming out called Ms. and Morrison, Hey Hey, that I'll just leave it at that. But when that does come out, you guys should all listen to it.
The other thing was, a lot of people, and we've been getting a lot of questions here about, how to stay busy, how to stay active, how to make the most of this opportunity. And look, it's hard because so many people are suffering. And have people been asking you that? And what is it that you say to them when they're saying like, what can I do to remain active or be productive? What are you doing specifically to make sure that you're making the most of this?
People do ask me that. And I think you have a huge opportunity right now to do a lot of fitness stuff at home, because for me, while everyone else is going to buy toilet paper, I went to Big Five to try to buy dumbbells, and the dumbbells were sold out. And I was like, what? Personally, I feel like keeping a schedule and staying physically active helps me keep my sanity. What I try to do is have maybe 2 or 3 workouts a day, but short ones. Like maybe first thing in the morning, just 10 minutes of abs. And there's a million different kind of things you can do at home on abs. You don't even need any equipment for that.
Nope.
And then if you have any cardio equipment, hop on the cardio equipment. If you don't, you could jump rope. You could do P90X. You could do DDP yoga. There's a million different kind of home workout type things you can do. And then the third thing that I add to my daily routine is some sort of resistance training. Right. But there's a lot of stuff you can do with push-ups and using your body and leverage to change the resistance on your muscle groups. Different kinds of push-ups, handstand push-ups, wall push-ups, sit-ups. If you have anything to hang off, body weight mid-rows, pull-ups, maybe if you're lucky enough to have like a spot where you can do pull-ups or chins in your house. Squats, pistol squat variations, lunges, but that kind of thing broken up into small chunks throughout the day is what I've been recommending to people.
Yeah, no, that's those are really. I haven't come across somebody that's recommended the small chunks. People have been like, oh, I'm training, really crazy hard, multiple times a day. And for me, I'm like, well, I do want to train hard and all, but I also want to be productive in other ways. And yeah, I mean, but it's different, like for me than someone else, obviously. For you specific, you're an entertainer. You have a certain look that you need to maintain. And you also, are you using this time too to communicate with your fans? I mean, I know you got a big fan base and a lot of people following you. And as, somebody who's going around and doing all these matches all over, typically when things aren't as restrictive, you're that's a way that you continue to build this fan base and continue to help be your piece of the puzzle to grow the brand. So are you doing a lot of that?
I've been communicating a ton with my family since the beginning of this, like way more than usual. We've been like all FaceTiming every day. And really since like all the full lockdowns started, I'd been at the Performance Center and 12 hours a day, like and maybe not 12 hours a day for the past 6 days, but I was there a lot. And now it feels weird because now I'm home and I don't know when the next time I'm going to be performing or wrestling or traveling is. So now I'm like what you're talking about, reaching out to the fans and communicating, and the idea of like, well, what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
It's really kind of hit me when I woke up this morning.
Well, I mean, because typically you're we only got a couple minutes, and I know we'll wrap it up. I know Mark and Adam will give me the whip, but I know that you're not used to being stuck somewhere, like being in one place at one for too long. You always jump around, well, and also your wife is a performer as well, so you guys both do that.
This is like strangely analogous to after I did Survivor, and I got voted out. You have to stay there. And you're kind of confined to a small space. And I was there for a couple of weeks. And that's where I started this like working out in short chunks idea. I know I'm going to like work out again in an hour. So now I'm going to eat something and spend 45 minutes on whatever.
Yeah.
Then I feel like you accomplish something and then you move on. And it's for some reason when I'm confined, when I was on Survivor and the vibe that I'm getting now with myself, just that schedule is what kind of keeps me sane.
Well, man, look, I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. And, WrestleMania, it's a 2-day event this year, which is something different. But I mean, look, it's you got to make
WrestleMania
it work.
Is too big for one day. It's a 2-day event hosted by the Gronk.
The Gronk.
And I'd never met him before. Met him at the PC. What a charismatic dude. I mean, he's a really charismatic, nice dude. I think he's super entertaining to watch. I think people are going to get a big kick out of all of his shenanigans for WrestleMania.
That's awesome. Did you like challenge him to an arm wrestling match or anything? I feel like somebody should have.
I definitely should have. I didn't want to get beat by the Gronk though in front of all the boys. I'd never live that down.
Yeah, that's right. So you might be like, I can't. My elbow's hurting today.
Man, if I felt good, Plus, there's the whole like social distancing thing. Like,
oh right, yeah.
If it wasn't for this, I'd beat you at arm wrestling right now.
Yeah. So some other time, rain check, and then just never bring it. Yeah. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And so we got WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday, and yeah, man. So 2 days, we're gonna have to tune in, see how things turn out. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, man. WWE really pulled it together to pull this thing off. And it's going to be really cool to see it. Well, I got a million more questions, but I know we're running out of time, so I'll save them for the next time. But John, thanks a lot, man. All right, see you, bro. All right, man. Later, bro. Take care.